the head of schools, Baulevu High School, as well as Koranganga Primary School, the school secretary, Mr. Rakesh Gounder, the staff of the Divisional Education Office, teachers, and the media personnel. A very good afternoon to you all, and it's a great pleasure to be here at Baulevu High School. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to hand over the various tools that we have received from the Korean government through the Korean embassy. And these tools that's given to you, I'm sure will be of great use in the teaching and learning process. And it is the government's intention, or you can say it's government's dream, to ensure that we are able to provide the various tools needed in teaching and learning. And the school should be well resourced. And because we intend to resource all schools, that's where the free education grant comes in. Every school receives free education grant, and the free education grant can be used for various purposes. It's basically, you can say that it's divided into 5 parts, and each part is given a percentage based on the need. Like out of 100%, 30% can be used for operation and administration. But then it also includes library upgrade plus compound maintenance or building maintenance and so forth. Now often one can say that these grants are not enough, but you have heard from the principal of the school how innovative he was in ensuring that there were other grants coming in from other sources so that the needs of the school can be met. So I congratulate him and thank him for doing that. Once again, I must say that standing in this classroom with 2 petitions, it's easy to open it up for teaching, considering that we have to adhere to COVID-19 protocol. And what also catches my attention is this place is very well ventilated, and you can see how many fans are going on, isn't it? And in my view, as I entered the school, I can see the protocol has been very well managed. COVID protocol has been very well managed, plus I can see the ventilation and so forth. So now the next question is, of course, the arrangement of your tables and chairs and social distancing amongst the children. I know for last 2 weeks, some trainings have been provided by the Ministry of Education, Heritage and Arts, and the training were mainly on COVID-safe protocol, which is endorsed by the Ministry of Health. And as the principal mentioned, you have been very well trained. Only thing I look forward to is the various checklists that you must have and the various little flyers that you can give out to the students as well as to the parents, so that they understand the protocol when they come to school to pick up the children, or when the kids are moving freely in the school compound, they need to observe COVID-19 protocol. Most parents are wondering when will the school reopen for the rest of the students. We cannot come up with a concrete timetable because we are depending on 2 important factors, which is the reduction in the number of active COVID cases in the country. And you can see that on a daily basis, we are seeing reduction in the number of active cases in Fiji. Currently, we are around 2,000, sometimes 500, 600, sometimes 2,200. So the number is fluctuating for one good reason. It depends on the number of active cases reported on a daily basis. So we just hope that the active cases decreases in number and our vaccination rate increases. We are around 84.2% or 84.3%, but if the number goes up, and Ministry of Health is working around the clock, making sure that people living in maritime area as well as in rural areas are vaccinated. But I must give it again to this school for having such a smooth, simple system where you are able to capture how many students are vaccinated, how many of them are fully vaccinated, and the interest shown by the parents, because that really boosts the confidence that we need to send our children to school. As soon as the face-to-face classes resume, again, the parents need to make sure that the children are safe and they are taught number of things even at home, while a lot of training and teaching will go on in the school regarding COVID-safe protocol. You know, kids are kids, they would love to play around, they'll forget to wear a mask, and they would be wondering why we are having staggered recess time or why are we having staggered lunch hour. But the intention of starting the school earlier than January would be really to do the assessment on our children. The teachers can carry out an assessment to find out how many children they need certain type of assistance, maybe with bags or maybe with food, or maybe with stationery, we don't know. But this is an exercise that can be carried out by the teachers. And the teachers in the first couple of weeks, they will be going over COVID-safe protocol with the students, making sure that they really understand and the importance of why they need to be protected. One can look at overseas cases. There are a number of cases being reported in schools recently when the schools reopened. But then again, what is the protocol around that? So there should not be any panic, but early detection is important, isolation is important, and then continuing with the classes is important. It doesn't mean if there is a case reported in the school will be shut down for 14 days or for 28 days. Our discussion with Ministry of Health was simple, that we will isolate after testing, we will isolate the students or teachers who may have COVID-19, but then decontamination will take place and the classes will resume as normal, right? Because the idea is that we have to live with COVID-19. And that's something that we all have to get used to it. And we are getting used to it. I mean, you will agree that mask is something that we've started wearing. And even when we go out, we are conscious of the fact that we need to sanitize our hands. And these are two very good habits. Sometimes it's impossible to avoid overcrowding. Like, for example, when you visit markets or a shopping place on a Saturday or a Friday, it's overcrowded. But if you are still wearing your mask and sanitizing your hands and taking all that precaution, you are protected to some extent. Right. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to really thank the teachers for doing the hard yards when the schools were closed. Yes, we've heard some negative comments from some people talking about why teachers are being paid when the schools are closed. Least do they know that even though the school was closed, the work continued. And you've heard from the principal that online classes continued. 70% of the students participated online, and basically the syllabus is complete for year 12 and year 13. So the decision we have made to open the school on 1st November and all the revision that needs to take place is a good one because you have completed the syllabus and this is the time to revise so that the students can sit for the exam. And please continue with your hard work and make sure that the school environment is clean. More reason we need to keep the wash area clean, the toilet facilities clean, the gardens well maintained, so that when children come back to school, they feel good in this school environment. For a very long time, when I say very long time, it's almost like 7 months they will be at home, and they have been at home. So in that situation, we have to attract our children to school, and we need to welcome them. We need to welcome them into the classroom. And you need to bear in mind that because the children were not in the school, they have not been following the routine which the school normally sets for a child. Right, so we know what time they should be in school, what time they should be having their recess and lunch, and of course what time they break off to go home. So again, we have to get back into the routine and set that standard that is required for teaching and learning. Now regarding the tools that we are handing over, I want to re-emphasize that all these tools need to be recorded in your school inventory, right, in your asset register, so that nothing is stolen, nothing is lost, it's not damaged, and it doesn't disappear overnight. Everything must be recorded, and I'm sure the management does that, but it's my duty to remind you because this is something that's given through donor funding, and we are accountable to that. You know that whatever we give and whatever you receive, we also have the information kept at ministry. And we will be making a visit to the schools to check whether all those items are there or not. All right? So once again, thank you very much, and I wish you well in your teaching and learning. Vinaka.